Hi guys, Mamie Carson here with OneJoyousSkip.com, and today I'm going to be creating a freestyle loose watercolored card here. I had to create some thank you cards, and so I decided I would create those on my own without using any stamps because I really wanted to do some really fun loose watercoloring flowers, and I don't have any of those stamps, so I said, well, let me just give it a go using just my watercolors. I thought I could pull it off, and I think they came out really cute, and so I hope that you'll try this along at your house too, so that you can start practicing your watercoloring if you're not into watercoloring yet and you want to try out some different techniques. This is a great one to start with. And so like I said, I'm using my Gansai Tambi watercolors, and they are very pigmented, so I have to water them down big time so that I can get a little bit of a lighter color. And also I'm using a dirty jar of water and a clean jar of water. It's always best to have two jars like that because that way your clean water will remain clean longer. And so you want to put your dirty brush into the dirty water first and then dump it into the clean water, and your clean water will last a whole lot longer. And so I am using Strathmore watercolor paper 400 series. It's one of my favorite. And I'm just going to have you guys kind of follow along with what I'm doing, and I'll explain a little bit along the way. But as you can see, I'm just creating little circles. It's super, super easy. And I'm just going round and round, round and round. And I'm using one of my finer watercolor brushes. And I have a set that came with, like, I don't know, 15 watercolor brushes, paint brushes. And I'm going to link the ones that I have below because I believe I got those on Amazon, so I think anybody can get those. And they're a really great little pack of a bunch of different thin watercolor paint brushes. And they're working really well. This is like my second or third time to use them, and I'm really happy with them. They don't hold a lot of water or a lot of color because they are very, very thin, but they do give you that great thin line so that you can create smaller images. And so as you can see, I used my light color first, and I just went round and round and created those circles. And then I took my darker color to come around and add darker color on top. And I will go back and forth using the lighter and using the darker where I see fit. And that kind of just creates the dimension and the shading without any effort whatsoever. And you also want to leave some of the white area as well. So try not to cover up all the white that you have inside of the circles, because that's going to give you some added dimension also. And it's giving you highlights as well. And so like I said, I'm doing a loose watercoloring, so this isn't something that you need to stress about. And I'm jumping over to the leaves here, and all I'm doing is creating a curved line, and then I'm coming around the other side and creating a bit shorter curved line. And so as you can see, I leave a little bit of a point at the very tip. I come down and put another curve a little bit lower, and that just makes it a little bit more organic, not so perfect looking. And you want to do them in different sizes, and you can do them in different areas wherever you see fit. And I only did a few of them. I need to practice a little bit more on the leaves, obviously. Like I said, I'm not a watercolor artist whatsoever, but you can still get a really beautiful effect. And I needed a bunch of thank you cards for a recent trip that we took with a company that took us on this trip, and I wanted to create a bunch of thank you cards for them, and I wanted to put flowers on the cards, but I don't have very many flower stamp sets, if you can believe it. So I just jumped into trying it this way, and I was like, well, I'll give it a try. If it doesn't work out, then I'll just create another card with some stamps. But I think it came out really beautiful. I don't know, let me guys know what you think. So this is great, like I said, for practicing your watercoloring. And I'm almost finished here with the leaves, and I'm just using just the green color that comes. I didn't mix it or anything, but I did put it on the palette over there so I could water it down. I would suggest really watering down these watercolors because they are so pigmented, like I said. And I'm just creating the final little leaves here, and I think it's coming together really nicely. And so I did dry the panel first, and now I'm coming over and adding just some little shaded lines there in the middle of the leaves, and I'm drying it over again. And this is basically the card as far as the layout where the watercoloring goes. I'm going to create the background area now. I didn't want it to be stark white, so I am going to be using some of the blue, and you really, really, really want to water this down so that it's very faint, faint color blue. And so I'm first watering down the entire panel, and I'm doing the wet on wet technique for this. And so the first part of the card, I was using wet on dry, and now I'm using wet on wet. And the wet on wet really helps that color spread and dilute that color really nicely so that you just have a really subtle look. And I'm starting right there around the images, and then I will put a lot of water on the edge to pull that color out, so that it will fade into really, really light blue, if anything, maybe even white. And I think this just really helps the roses pop even more. And so I'm using my black velvet silver brush number 4 round, and this is a fantastic brush, and I will list all the products that I'm using in this card down below in the description box so that you can get the products on your own. I believe that I got the paintbrushes from Amazon, and so I will link those down below with where you can find them for yourself. I'm running out of the blue here, but I didn't want to mix any more of the color up because I didn't want to get the color this far along. I didn't want to mix in any different colors because that could change the whole color of the blue. And so I just tried to really stretch that color that I had there. And now I'm just pulling that color out with a lot of water, and it gives it a really nice subtle look. Now I'm just darkening up in some tiny little places here. And that's basically the card. I am going to heat dry that with my heat gun for a little bit and make sure that it's nice and dry before I stamp a sentiment across the front. I have terrible handwriting, so I'm not going to be doing any hand lettering, but it would be really beautiful if you could write your own hand lettering across the front. It would just really make this whole card truly handmade and something really special. But I don't have good handwriting, like I said, and so I am using a little bit of a scripty font from an old stamp set from Recollections. I don't even know if you can't get it anymore at Michael's. I don't think they even have this particular set available there. I think I got it at Michael's, yeah. But I will list some scripty fonts that you can use down below, because I know there are some really beautiful ones. I have another set of really pretty scripty font, but it's a little bit smaller, and I wanted a large sentiment here. And so I'm just using my VersaFine Onyx black ink to stamp out the word thanks. And, you know, I'm not really thinking as I'm going across here. These letters are all different sizes, and it's a little bit confusing on where they're supposed to actually be located. Like the A is super huge, and then the N is really, really tiny in the thanks. And so as I was going across, when I got down to the S at the end, the S ended up being way too low. And so I'm going to remedy that in the next part of the card, and that can give you an idea of how you can fix your card as well, as long as you do something like I did. And I see here, oh, the S is way too low, and normally that wouldn't bother me too much, and it really didn't. I would have sent it just like this. Look at me like I'm looking kind of confused there. And so all I'm going to do is take a die, which I was going to take anyway, to cut off the to put a stitched line around the outside. And I'm going to take a die, and I'm going to set the die a little bit off center so that the T and the S are more aligned at the bottom. So I think that I was able to salvage it a bit here. It's a little bit more even. And all I'm going to do now is pop that up on a card base. And I'm not going to show you guys me popping it up on the card base because it is still probably a little bit wet. The ink can smear very easily this VersaFine Onyx Black ink. And so you want to make sure that all of that is really, really dry. And so I just decided I would hold off on that. And also I'm going to add some sequins here, some crystal clear sequins in just a couple of different little spots here to finish the card off. But in the still shot, I will have it popped up and ready to go so that you guys can see what the finished project looks like. And yeah, this was a really great project. It turned out really beautiful, I think, and I really enjoyed doing it. And I hope you guys will give it a try on your own, also at home. And thank you, as always, for liking my channel, subscribing to my channel, and always leave me a comment. I try to get back to you guys as soon as I can. I have a lot going on. I'm going to be gone in July, so I probably won't be able to do a whole lot of commenting, but I will still be on a little bit, but I am on vacation, so I won't be as close to my phone as usual. But yeah, so I am looking forward to the next card that I'm going to be making for the summer series that I have ready to go, and I'm just going to have it posted here soon, so I hope you guys enjoyed that as well. And just to finish off my card here, I did use my Spectrum Noir clear glitter brush pen to go over the roses and give them a bit of added sparkle. But that is it for me today, guys, and I will see you in the next video.